Hi and welcome to lesson 16 of our free QGIS series. I'm Tim Aubrey from DMAD Marine Mammal Research Association, and today we're going to be looking at using some of the advanced digitizing features. So the first part of the lesson is going to look at recapping some of the features we've already learned, and the second half of the lesson is going to look at using the advanced digitizing features, using the split function, using the merge function, learning how to delete parts of polygons and things like that. This is our second to last lesson in the beginner series, but we are going to be starting an intermediate series from next week, so look forward to that. Please keep liking, subscribing, and most importantly sharing these videos so that we can help other people like you during the coronavirus. Okay, thanks, bye! Okay, in this lesson I've opened up Google Satellite and I've zoomed in to the area of Budva, although you can do this in any area you want. We're going to be using a bit of grassland, seagrass here, but you could do it on forest, grassland, a dune system, anything you fancy. So I'm going to zoom right out to the map extents to show you where I am. So if we now want to zoom in to the Mediterranean, zoom into the Adriatic, okay, and you can see Montenegro here runs from this little bay system here down to about halfway across this lake, which is Skadar Lake here. So I'm just going to zoom into Montenegro, and then about a third of the way down the Montenegrin coast there is this area here where you can see it looks like there's an island off it. Okay, so this is the island of Sveti Nikola, and this is the town of Budva just here. And if you zoom in far enough, you can see this area looks a bit like a line along here, which just is a raised area, and it's quite a big habitat of seagrass, of Posidonia, and it's rumoured that at one point it used to be so thick that you used to be able to walk from Budva to Sveti Nikola along this path. This certainly isn't the case now. It's definitely been degraded, unfortunately, by all the boat traffic and things, but there's still an extensive area of seagrass here. And this is the area we're going to be looking at, and we're going to look how we can use the polygons and things we've drawn in other lessons to divide things up to management units, and then we're going to look at a bit of advanced digitizing. So I'm going to go into Layer, Create Layer, and New Shapefile Layer like we've done 100 times before. I'm going to find my file, so I'm going to save it in QGIS Lesson 16 because this is Lesson 16, and I'm just going to call this Management Areas 2 because I already have management areas where I've done this before. I'm going to leave the file encoding as it is and change the geometry type to Polygon. Okay, then I'm going to add a new ID, so I'm going to add to fields list. I'm going to add zone. We're going to have a north, central and southern zone, and then I'm going to add a governing body, so I'm just going to call this govern, and I'm going to click add to fields list each time, and they were all text data, and I'll show you why later. And then I'm going to click OK, and then just like we did in the previous videos, we're going to create some Polygon data. So make sure our layer is selected in the layers area, click the toggle editing icon, and then click add Polygon feature, and I'm just going to very roughly trace this Polygon feature here. So if you want to do this for a real project, say you're working on woodlands or dunes or something, then by all means be my guest and trace it quite closely, but because this is just an example, I'm just going to go through very quickly and just trace a couple of these areas. Just to give you guys a bit of an idea. Okay, and when we've finished our area, we can just right click as always, and we're going to leave all these features blank for now. Okay, so you can see we've got our area, and I'm just going to save that as well. It's a really good idea, especially when you're working on slightly longer projects, to keep saving and I'm going to turn my edits off. Okay, so if I click save, and now I go into open attribute table, we see that we've got our ID, we've got our ID, which is what we're calling the zones, what we're calling each shapefile, and then we've got our zones and we've got the governing body, which are blank at the moment. Okay, so say we want to split this into 3 areas. We want 3 different management units. We want a northern management unit, a central one, and a southern one. Well, at the moment we've only got 1 polygon, so we need to split that. And we do it using the advanced digitizing toolbar. So go into the normal digitizing toolbar and click toggle editing, and you'll see it illuminates a ton of other options as well. We're going to be using the advanced digitizing toolbar, which is this one. And if you haven't got it, just right click on any grey space and go to advanced digitizing toolbar to turn it off or to turn it on. So advanced digitizing toolbar, it's just this top one. And we're going to be using the tool which looks like a pair of scissors cutting in half a multicoloured potato. So the split features tool just here. And all you do is you draw a line. So go roughly a third down and then click. In fact, I'm just going to turn Google Satellite off so it's easier to see. There you go, you can see that line a bit better now. So we're going to be drawing a line where we want to cut it. So we're going to cut the north one there. And you'll see this is given us 2 different zones. And then we're going to cut our southern central divide here in the same way. Okay. And if you go and select feature, you can now see that we've got 3 unique zones, which is brilliant. Okay, we're just going to turn our toggle edits off, and we're going to click save because we want to save these different areas. And then we're just going to open up our attribute table again. And normally it fills this for you, so it hasn't filled this. So just click toggle editing again. We're just going to fill it very quickly as 1, 2, 3. And then under ID, we're going to call it 1, 2, 3 again. And then zone. So you'll need to drag your attribute table to the side here. If we click on the 1, 2, 3 down the side, it will show us which zone we're selecting. So zone 1 is going to be our north zone. So I'm just going to type north. Zone 2 is going to be our central zone. So I'm just going to type center. And then zone 3 is going to be our southern zone. So I'm just going to type south. And then under governing bodies, the first one's going to be governed by Budva, which is the city just to the northwest of the site. The second is going to be governed by Budva, and the third is going to be governed by Sveti Nikola. So I'm just going to write SV for Sveti and Nikola, which is the name of the island. It's probably a good time to say that this is a completely theoretical example, and these governing bodies aren't in charge of this seagrass. There is seagrass there, but that's not how it's managed. So we can save this, and like we have quite a few times before, we're just going to go into our, I'm just going to click off, we're going to go into our properties, so right click on properties, and instead of single symbol, we're going to go categorized, and under our categories we're going to go to zone, click classify, and then under our color ramp we're just going to choose spectral because it's slightly nicer colors. Click apply and OK, and you'll see that it's changed our colors here. We can do the same thing with labels, so either right click and go to properties, or go to this layer styling window on the right hand side and click symbol labels. And the label we're going to use is governing body, so we know which governing body is in charge. Okay, and I'm just going to make this a bit easier to read by adding a text buffer. We'll leave that at 1 actually. And I'm just going to make the text size slightly larger. Okay, so now we can see our different governing bodies, and we can change this the other way around. So maybe we want our categories to be done by governing body. So we could classify this a different way, and we could have our categories done by governing body, and we could change our labels to the different zones. It's really up to you. You can do quite a lot with that. And when we're looking at our attribute table, we only added a couple of simple details, but you could just as easily have had a contact name and contact details as whoever's in charge of it. We could have the area in square kilometers, how often it's being surveyed. These attributes could be, well, they can go on forever, really. So once we're happy with that, we're going to just look at another example. Okay, so in our theoretical example here, we have our seagrass and we have our north, centre and south zone. But let's pretend that these zones are being surveyed once every season, and during our winter season they find that in our central section, so I'm just going to zoom in on our central section, they find that there is seagrass missing from this section here, and we need to remove it from our map. Well, we do it in exactly the same way. We go to right click, we toggle editing, or we can use the pencil here, and then we go to our multicolored potato with the split features. This time we're going to draw 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, to represent the area which needs to be removed. And then we can right click, and you'll see we've got now 3 central sections, so each one's got its own center marking. If we go into the attribute table, so right click on the layer and go to open attribute table, we can then go and find our new ID. So it is going to be one of these 2 that's just been created here. So it's number 5 here, and what we can, sorry, it's not, it must be the original number 2 one. Yeah, that's it. So what we can do then is we can just click on delete selected feature, and you'll see it's been removed. Okay, so once again we can just close our attribute table, come off toggle editing, and it'll ask us if we want to save our changes. If we just click yes, we can see now we've got our north, centre and south. And let's change this back to governing bodies. And we can see that we've got our different areas and our different governing bodies here. Okay, and that's great. But what happens if come the summer survey, this area is regrown, and we want to re-add this area? Well, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We could draw another polygon to fill the shape. But what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that the snapping options are on, like we showed you in the last lesson. So click on this magnet, so go to project and snapping settings, and then go to this magnet, and just make sure that these 2 options are selected. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click and click toggle editing, or we can use our little pencil up here, and we're going to go to this one, which is the Vertex Tool, and I'm just going to zoom in again on this little center. So we're using the Vertex Tool, and if you remember in one of the previous lessons I showed you that if you go between 2 vertices, we can find this little plus icon. If we click on that, we can just drag and it'll create another point. We can do the same again here, and we very quickly refill this space. Okay, so if I zoom back out to this layer by right clicking on the layer and clicking zoom to layer, you'll see that we have our polygons here. Just going to go off editing. We have our polygons here, and it's looking better, but at the moment we have, let's classify it by area again, sorry, zone. We have our 3 areas, but we don't really need 2 separate areas here, because it's all one zone again now. So what we can do is we can merge these 2. So I'm just going to click toggle editing again. It's good to toggle it on and off because it's easy to make sure we keep saving it on a regular basis. And I just want to select these two zones. So I can click and drag to select them, or click on one and then control click on the other. Probably command click on a Mac, I'm not sure. Just come down to edit. Yeah, merge selected features. It'll bring up the attributes. They're all the same, so that's great. It's just the feature ID. And then we're just going to click OK. And you'll see that it comes back as it was. And we've got our northern, central and southern area, and our governing bodies for each. So I hope that's been useful for you. We've quite quickly gone over a couple of different things we can do there. We recapped how we can draw polygons and how we can add attributes to them, add our own attribute data. We looked at how we can split features using the advanced digitizing toolbar. We looked at how we can delete sections of polygons, and we also looked at how we can move the vertices of polygons and how we can re-merge polygons. Well, merge polygons if we want to join two polygons of the same type. That's it for this lesson. This is the penultimate lesson, so the second to last lesson in this beginner series. And then in the next lesson we're going to do a really nice long example. I'll see you then. Bye.